Next, I tell you how I named this perfume I just created, an incredible story in the power of perfume and why this is such an amazing passion that we all share. You're going to want to hear this story, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. And for some of you who've been watching, my channel, I've been talking about a fragrance that I've been working on creating. Actually, started on this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's been macerating, and I've been working with a master perfumer here in Miami. Really exciting. This is just kind of a fun hobby for me. It's so that I can continue to develop my nose, my passion, my knowledge about fragrances, about composition, about materials, about just everything, synthetic or natural materials, just learning what I can. I'm not selling this, not saying that one day I won't maybe do something like that for those, because I know a lot of you have been asking about that, whether I'm selling this. This is right now just for things that I'm creating for my own personal enjoyment. But so I have been working on this fragrance, and I have it here. I have a couple bottles for those of you have seen on my Instagram channel. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, Joel the Nose, same as my YouTube channel, go check it out. Please follow me there, because I do a lot of things like scent of the day, and I've been talking about this fragrance. Anyways, I finished it a couple weeks ago and put it in the bottle, and been using it, smelling it. I've been taking it with me when I go out to restaurants or different places, and I have people smell it and I get their honest opinion. I don't tell them in advance that I created this, because I want to get real opinions from people. And I've been getting, I got to say, overwhelmingly positive feedback. No one has given me a negative opinion of it, which is pretty cool. I've had probably close to 10 people smell it now. So this is kind of, as you can see, the color is kind of dark. It's beige. It has a beige smell to it. If you know what that, if you can picture it, beige, earthy, kind of citrusy, neroli. I got some wood, some cypress, really kind of earthy, sexy, sensual, classic French perfumery. So that's what I was going for with this fragrance, but I couldn't think of a name, right? So this is what happened to me the other night. I went on this date with this incredibly beautiful woman. It was a first date, and we had already been texting a little bit and had a really cool connection. And what we found out is we had a connection over perfume and essential oils and kind of just the artistic side of perfumery and fragrance. And so I told her that I'd been working on a perfume, and she was very excited, wanted to smell it, wanted to try it. So I brought it with me on this first date. And it's kind of nerve-wracking because here I am meeting somebody for the first time, and also I'm wanting to spray this, smell it, and see what they think. So when she tried it, she had the most incredible memory, powerful memory. And if you've watched my videos, we've talked about this before, how the sense of smell is the most powerful when it comes to the 5 senses to memory and emotion, because it's processed in the same part of the brain as where we process memories and emotions. So for those of you who've experienced what's called a Proustian moment from Marcel Proust, the famous French philosopher and writer, and it's described as something basically when you smell something that takes you back to a time from your past, many years ago, that's something you had never smelled, since that time, and it transports you like you were literally in that moment again. It's that powerful. And it could be 10 years, 5 years, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Maybe you went without smelling a particular smell, and then you smell it again, and it literally makes you feel like you're back in your past. Well, she had that moment the other night when I met with her. Actually had a Proustian moment. Now, if that's not a pretty cool first date for me, and it's pretty smooth, right? I could not predict that would happen, but it happened for her. And what it did is it reminded her of her grandmother. And her grandmother, she said, was a very elegant woman who loved fragrances, loved French perfumery, classic French perfumery. And she had been very close with her grandmother, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, or no longer with her. And this smell reminded her exactly, she said, of perfumes, or a perfume in particular that her grandmother loved and wore. She didn't even know what it was. She was small. She doesn't remember, but this took her back many, many years, back to when she was a child and could smell her grandmother. And it immediately had this emotional impact for her. It was so incredible. So based on that, immediately I knew what the name of the fragrance should be. Because as I told you at the beginning, I had not named this fragrance yet, and I wasn't sure what to call it because, I just didn't feel inspired by it. So now this fragrance is going to be called dun, 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 Lupita. And that is off after her grandmother's name, Lupe, and her nickname was Lupita. So I'm going to call this fragrance Lupita. And it is wonderful, earthy. Let me just spray it here. Oh, it hadn't been sprayed yet. There's a new bottle, so I got to get the sprayer going there. Oh, it's kind of sensual, sexy, musky, classic French, beige, citrus, grapefruit, neroli, cypress wood, benzoin, gives it that smooth vanilla, almost like sweetness. Anyways, I love the fragrance. I'm glad she loved it, and I'm glad that it created this incredible moment for her that took her back to her grandmother, who's been, unfortunately, again, had died many years before, and this just was incredible memory, and beautiful for me. Beautiful moment for me, and one of those things why I love perfume and why I love art and creating, because you create something. I created something a couple weeks ago that I had no idea was going to have this amazing effect on someone at the time I created it I never even knew existed in the world and had never met this person. And all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, I'm meeting this wonderful woman, and we're sharing this moment around perfume that's taking her back to her grandmother. So I'm just so excited by things like that, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks for watching. This is JoelTheNose. Just wanted to share that story with you. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate the support. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace and love.